Hello again, everyone. This is Joe, Data Science Building Blocks. Have a very short one for you today. We are just going to learn how to create a dynamic title by writing a measure and then using the paintbrush format title on a specific visual. So navigate to page 2. We're going to use this car make data table visual. If you have been following along, you'll have this DSBB Power BI worksheet that we've been using. If you haven't been, it's not really necessary for this video. I do encourage you to go back, but you should be able to grasp this without having this worksheet available. So if we just click this make slicer, we can filter on a few cars. I'll do AMC, hold in control, and also pick Dodge. You'll see it filters the entire sheet. This says car make data table. I'm going to click this visual, and once we've done that, we can navigate to the paintbrush here, format, title, which is toggled to on. We put the title in here ourselves, car make data table. But let's clear this out. We can do better. We are going to use this function here to pull in a measure that we write. So we have to do that first. We can go to this measure table first, right click new measure, and we actually want to select the value that we're using here in the make column. Backspace so that you have an empty bar, and we will just call this page 2 title. Very descriptive, and we can say selected value, and since we're pulling in the make here as a column, we're pulling in the make field into this visual. We can type in make and select car make. Then we can call this selected value, use the and the ampersand, and now we want it to be text. This measure is going to output text, so do in quotes. You can start with a space so that it's a little cleaner. This is going to select the make that you actually pick, so once we narrow this down to 1, it's either going to be AMC or Dodge, and let's just call it data table. And if you have the space here, it'll just be cleaner. It won't mash them together with no spaces. So that's a little trick there. End quote, and click enter. So that it'll appear over here, page 2 title. We can stay selected on the measure. You can see the format is text. That's very important. When we do this, it needs to return as text. So now we can click this FX here while we're selected on our visual. On field value, that's fine, and then based on field, drop down measure, click page 2 title, and then click OK. So now we have this title. We have already formatted it, but it just says data table because we're selected on 2 things. So if we're selected on one thing, like Chrysler, for example, now it says Chrysler data table. So if we want to give an alternate result for when we select multiple things, we can go to the page 2 title measure, and after make, do a comma. This allows for an alternate result, the selected value. So we can say something like multiple makes data table. So the alternate result will always return multiple makes if we select nothing or multiple things. So click enter. Still should say Chrysler data table now because we're still only selected on one thing. I'll hide the visuals pane so that we can see what's going on. Click this eraser. Okay, multiple makes data table. But if I select Cadillac, it should say Cadillac data table. So that's how you do that. Feel free to play with the titles on some of these other visuals. And we will pick up here again in Power BI in the next one with scatter plots. I will see you in the next one.